Welcome back, everyone, to Stories That Shouldn't Be Told. Tonight's tale comes from The Late Shift, a true, terrifying story about a food delivery run that nearly became the last. A strange order, an abandoned apartment, and something crying behind a locked door. Every story is a warning. Some doors should never be opened. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share it with anyone who loves a good scare. And tell me in the comments, what are your favorite types of horror stories? Your support keeps the stories alive and the nightmares coming. Now, let's begin. I've been delivering food for 3 years now, mostly working the late shift because the tips are better and there's less traffic. Thursday nights are usually pretty quiet, but that particular evening, I got a ping around 2:30 a.m. for a massive pizza order from someone named Marcus. 6 large pizzas with all kinds of weird toppings. The address led me to an old apartment complex on the outskirts of town, the kind of place where half the streetlights are burned out and the parking lot is full of potholes. Building C was at the very back, tucked away behind a row of dumpsters that reeked of rotting garbage. The whole area felt abandoned, except for a few flickering porch lights. I climbed the rusted metal stairs to apartment 3B, carrying 3 insulated pizza bags that were surprisingly heavy. The hallway smelled like cigarettes and something else I couldn't identify, something sweet and cloying that made my stomach turn. I knocked on the door and waited. After a minute, I heard shuffling footsteps and multiple locks being undone. The door opened just a crack, held by a chain, and I could see one bloodshot eye peering out at me. "You got my pizzas?" The voice was raspy, like the person had been smoking for decades. "Yeah, 6 large pizzas for Marcus. That'll be $78. The chain rattled as he undid it, and the door swung open. Marcus was a thin guy in his 40s with greasy hair and clothes that looked like they hadn't been washed in weeks. But what really caught my attention was how nervous he seemed. His hands were shaking as he took the pizza bags, and he kept glancing over his shoulder into the apartment. "Come in for a second," he said, stepping aside. "I need to get your money from the bedroom." Something felt off, but I'd been in situations like this before. Sometimes, customers are just weird. I stepped inside, and immediately that sweet, rotten smell hit me full force. The apartment was dark, except for a single lamp in the corner, and I could see takeout containers and empty bottles scattered everywhere. Marcus disappeared down a narrow hallway, muttering to himself. I stood there, trying not to breathe through my nose, when I heard something that made my blood run cold. It sounded like someone crying, but muffled, like they had something over their mouth. I took a few steps toward the sound, and that's when I noticed the bedroom door at the end of the hall was slightly open. Through the crack, I could see what looked like rope tied to a bedpost. The crying got louder, more desperate. My heart started pounding. This wasn't right. I needed to get out of there immediately. I turned toward the front door, but Marcus was already coming back down the hallway, except now he had something in his hand that glinted in the dim light. "Where are you going?" he asked, his voice completely different now, calm, cold. "I just remembered I left my car running," I lied, taking another step toward the door. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "No, you didn't. I saw you turn it off from the window." The crying from the bedroom got more frantic, and I could hear someone trying to scream through what must have been a gag. My hand was on the door handle when Marcus lunged forward. I yanked the door open and bolted down the stairs, taking them 3 at a time. I could hear him behind me, his footsteps echoing off the metal steps. I reached my car and fumbled with the keys, my hands shaking so badly I could barely get them in the ignition. Just as the engine started, I saw Marcus burst through the building's front door, still holding whatever weapon he'd grabbed. He approached the back door of the car and was about to open it. I floored it out of that parking lot and didn't stop until I was several miles away. Then I pulled over and called 911, my voice shaking as I tried to explain what I'd heard and seen. The police found 1 man and 1 woman tied up in that bedroom, both of whom had been reported missing in the past month. They were both food delivery drivers like me who had disappeared while working their routes. Marcus tried to run when they showed up, but they caught him in the parking lot. Turns out, he'd been specifically targeting delivery drivers, ordering food as a way to lure them to his apartment. I still deliver food, but I trust my instincts now. If something feels wrong, I don't stick around to find out why. That was late night delivery. A reminder that sometimes the job isn't just dangerous, it's a trap. He trusted his instincts, and that saved his life. But not everyone makes it out. If this story chilled you, like, share, and subscribe to Stories That Shouldn't Be Told, because the next delivery could be yours, and the next door you knock on might be the last. We'll see you next time. Until then, lock your doors, trust your gut, and never ignore the sound behind the door.